Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a great weekend. And to make your weekend even more better, let's get started with the meeting. So before starting the meeting, can we get some quick faces on video? Come on, guys, come on, video, please. Yes. So every Toastmasters meeting has this 3 golden rules which has to be followed. The first golden rule: keep all your noise-making devices in silent mode or switch off mode to have the best meeting experience. And rule number 2: do not unmute yourself unless and until you're asked to, so that you don't disturb the speaker while speaking. Rule number 3: avoid talking on the taboo topics such as sex, religion, and politics. And even if you have to talk about them in such a manner that you don't offend anyone. So coming to the theme, little things. So to be honest, I was actually quite surprised how after getting to know about the theme, because like these little things really matter a lot, because like writing your name on your book, or like those small things like your photos or a good picture that you really like. So after a period of time in your 40s or 50s or 80s, so when you have a look back at those photos, you get this really nostalgic feeling, or like the good vibe. So I really believe this, like these little things do matter a lot. So without taking much charm from our TMoD, let's go ahead and over to our TMoD, presiding officer.
Toastmaster Nikhil, for that wonderful start. Good evening, everyone, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Before we get to the theme, let me open the meeting. Meeting number 156, open. Now, I can see a lot of guests today. So let me ask Siddharth Das to speak a few words, because this is the second time he's attending the meeting. Over to Siddharth Das. Hello. Okay, I guess there's some connection issue. So let me call upon Mahidara Saiti to speak. Our next guest, Mahidara Saiti, to give his introduction. Over to you. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Oh. It seems to me that the guests are really shy and they're not willing to speak. But I can see a new member from another, I can see a member from another Toastmasters club, Asma Sheikh. So can you speak a few words?
Hi everyone. I'm Asma. I'm the president of Milagros Toastmasters. It's from District 121. With my introduction, I would also like to ask you, in fact, if my audio is fine. Thank you. Back to you, TMoD.
Thank you, Asma. Now I can see another new face, Veerabhadra Rao Sunkara. Can you?
Yeah, I am Vinay.
Vinay. Oh, I'm sorry. It seems to be there's a confusion.
That's my actual name.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's a confusion. Okay. Then can I ask Surya to give his introduction? Oh, they left. Okay, then before we get further, I'll speak a few words on I have few announcements to make. One is Anjani, Toastmaster Anjani has completed her level 2. So a huge round of applause to her. And on the 19th of this month, 19th of February, we are having our ISC, that is International Speech Contest. So we have 8 contestants for that. So I hope everyone joins and have fun, and the role takers have more fun participating. Then we also have today Toastmaster Ganesh gave his Tall Tales speech in Park 4.2. So a huge round of applause for that. As of the theme, the first thing which came into my mind was when you are really hungry and you just open your fridge and see a piece of chocolate inside the fridge. It's a very little thing, but it makes your day. So before I get any further, let me give it to Toastmaster Girish to speak on the theme. Over to you, TMoD, Toastmaster Girish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. How's your weekend? Is it fine? Average? Okay. Let me get started with my theme. You may have heard this advice, right? Enjoy little things. So we have heard it so many times that we often feel that words are becoming meaningless more and more times, repeating them, right? People use this statement so many times that I started to think that if something that everyone will say that they don't have anything to say, like it became a cliche statement. I never truly understood its actual meaning until recent times. Okay, first let me tell you, it is not some motivation or gyan, something like that. This is my experience, my story of dealing and knowing what are little things and how they matter much. They matter a lot to our well-being, to our mental health. So back to the campus days, I was this happiest person when I heard that we are going to get a lot of holidays due to some crazy virus. I don't know at that time that I'm going to spend next 2 years alone in my room without doing anything but just looking at the machine right in front of me. Initial days are fine because I have huge watch list of movies and web series. Months went by, my watch list was almost finished and a weird feeling started kicking in my mind. I will describe this feeling. It is like one part of my mind yells at me like, dude, why are you wasting so much time? Just go do something productive. Whereas my other part of my brain, it was like, hey, no man, I can't work anymore. I badly need a refresher. And slowly, automatically, it will shut down and go to some sleep. Some days I wake up and look at the calendar to see if there is something or anything to celebrate today. But most of the time, I cannot find anything. I will just go back to sleep again and dive into some social media or etc. Something like that. Okay, how many of you have experienced this feeling in these 2 years of lockdown and corona? Anyone experienced the same feeling as I am? Yeah, I see many hands rising. I'm happy I'm not alone. After giving it a proper thought, why is it happening like that? I found that it's not that I don't have anyone to talk to or I don't have any work. It's not like that, but it's about setting high expectations on everything and anything that we do. Like, for example, I used to set some huge expectations before watching a movie, like it should contain some huge action scenes or a beautiful romantic story and amazing twists. With all these things in my mind, if I go watch that movie, if one thing or two things are not good about the movie, I feel really disappointed because I have this huge expectations in my mind that this movie is going to be awesome. With this disappointment, that disappointment is so strong that I fail to notice that the movie has some amazing performances, excellent BGM, and beautiful screenplay. Similar thing is almost repeating with everything I do. So I understood what was my problem. I lowered all my expectations and started looking for the little things around me to celebrate and enjoy myself. So what are those little things and how they made me feel better is what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to talk in this meeting. So with that being said, let me call out General Evaluator for today. For her, the ultimate solution for boredom is reading journals, painting, walking, and stargazing. I'm handing over screen to Toastmaster Madan.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Girish. Hi everyone, I am Madhumita and I will be the General Evaluator for today. For the benefit of the guests and all the new members, General Evaluator is someone who evaluates the entire meeting from the very beginning. To assist me with my evaluation, I have 3 members and they are called as the tag team: Timer, our counter, and Gradient. Today we have Timer Madhumita again, who will be playing the role of Timer. Madhumita says she feels that not only big things makes her happy, but even the small things too, like just a star on her hand in our young days when we used to get it from the teachers, and when you get a small nap from the last bench while you're attending classes in the colleges or in the high school. So that is what Toastmaster Madhumita is here to offer for us. And let me hand over the stage to Toastmaster Madhumita. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhumita. Hi, everyone. I'm Madhumita. I'll be the timer for today's meeting. My role is to record your speech timings and report it at the end of the meeting. So this will help the speaker to give the next speech within the allocated time. So for today's I'll show the green card at the end of 4 minutes, yellow at the end of 5 minutes, red at the end of 6 minutes. And for prepared speeches, green at the end of 5 minutes, yellow at the end of 6 minutes, red at the end of 7 minutes. And for table topic session, green at the end of 1 minute, yellow at the end of 1 minute 30 seconds, red at the end of 2 minutes. And for speech evaluations, green at the end of 2 minutes, yellow at the end of 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red at the end of 3 minutes. This applies same to the tag team report. That is green at the end of 2 minutes, yellow at the end of 2 minutes 30 seconds, red at the end of 3 minutes. Now I'll be showing my card. So this will be the green card, yellow card, and red card. I'll be showing at the certain intervals as mentioned previously. So that's it from my side. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Madhumita. I remember that Spider-Man scene where each of them point to each other saying, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Similarly, it's Madhumita and Madhumita here. Anyways, I just want to confirm with the audience here, were you able to see the color cards when she was showing? I was not able to see. I was able to see only the red color.
Me too. I could see only red.
Okay, I'll show it again. No problem. Green, can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
This is yellow. And this is red.
Awesome, awesome, great. I hope everyone it is visible. And with that, let's get started and moving on to the next speaker. That is the next tag team member, our counter. Today, we have Toastmaster Vinay, who says he's an introverted kid who loves to dance and can express himself through dance. But not only through that, he would love to express himself through words, which is why he has joined Toastmasters for now. Toastmaster Vinay, over to you.
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. I'm Toastmaster Vinay, and I'll be your counter for today's meeting. As we all know how important it is to speak fluently and to minimize the words like and sometimes some pauses. And I'll be helping you with these kind of things. My role as an counter is to basically reduce and notice your CRPFs, where C stands for crutch words, like basically literally, and R stands for repetitive words like, so, and P stands for pauses, and F stands for filter words like like that. And finally, I'll be showing my result at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinay. Just adding on to Toastmaster Vinay's introduction of the R counter, just a small hint here. Our speed of thought and the speed of speech are different. It wouldn't always be in sync. So when there is a difference in the speed of thought and the speech, that's when we tend to use the R's, fillers, and all those crutch words. So we try to match both of them. When you have some places, if there are times when you would want to use some fillers like or finally, or so, Try to take a pause and then move ahead. A short pause is okay. With that, let's move on to the grammarian for today, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Over to you, Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Good evening, my dear Toastmasters and guests present in the meeting. I'm the grammarian for today's meeting. I'm not turning on my video as there is a power cut here, and I'm really sorry for that. As the name suggests, I'll be looking into the good usages and not so good usages of the grammar, and if any quotes are there in your speech. And now I'll be telling you the word of the day and idiom of the day. The word of the day is euphoria. It means a state of intense happiness and self-confidence. Example, she was flooded with euphoria as she went to the podium to receive the award. Synonyms of euphoria are joy, delight, excitement, and glee. You can use any of these words. And the idiom of the day is many a little makes a mickle. It means many small amounts accumulate to make a large amount. Example, many a little makes a mickle. Over time, a log leaf of logs was thus formed. You can, I'll be sharing this in the chat as well so that you can look into it. And I request all of you to show a thumb symbol whenever you hear the word of the day or idiom of the day. That's it from my side. I'll be back at the end with my report. Over to the General Evaluator, Toastmaster Madhumita.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Toastmaster Lakshmi is someone who feels that these little things like taking a nap in the afternoon, watching through the window when it's raining, and just having a coffee break in the evening is what that makes her life easier, so much easier, and that would make her day. Thank you so much for that report. One small addition to the timer that we had today, you will have a grace period of 30 seconds. If it is a speech for 5 to 7 minutes, it will be from 4:30 to 7:30 minutes. At 7 minutes and 30 seconds, you will be eligible for voting. For the other speech limits like 4 to 6 minutes, it will be 3 minutes and 30 seconds to 6 minutes and 30 seconds. For table topics, it will be 1 to 2.5 minutes. For the speech evaluators, it will be from 1:30 to 3:30. I hope this is clear, and I have already started my evaluation. I'll be back with the report towards the end of this meeting. That was my time. Thank you so much. Over to the TMoD Toastmaster Girish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhumita. Let's jump right away into the prepared speeches section. Our first speaker today, she realized that little things like going on a walk with her dog and funny gossip with her mom does make a big difference to her day. She is none other than Toastmaster Harshita. But before I call her, let us welcome her evaluator. Whenever she feels bored or low, she basically synchronizes the aroma of coffee to classical tunes of Ilayaraja to the nice feel-good book, or blend the flavors of hot chocolate to banging BTS. I call upon Toastmaster Vinod to give Toastmaster Harshita's speech objectives.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Girish. Hello, fellow tapsters and guests. This is Vinod with the complete honors of being today's speaker, Toastmaster Harshita, speech evaluator. Coming to Toastmaster Harshita, she is attempting her L3P2 in the path engaging humor, and the purpose of the project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. The purpose of the speech is also for the member to inspire the audience. We are all ears on your speech, Harshita. Over to TMoD. All the very best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinod. Toastmaster Harshita, just take that plunge. Just take that plunge, Toastmaster Harshita.
Fear. Is there anyone here who has no fears at all? I don't think so. We all have so many fears. Fear of the number 13, fear of color black, fear of public speaking, fear of how to open a speech, fear of taking this road not taken, etc., etc., etc. Before I go ahead and add another fear to the already huge list of fears you have, which is the fear of fears, let us talk about the main point, which is how do we overcome this fear? Broadly classifying, there are two categories of people. One, who either overthink or don't think at all and run away from their fears. And the second one, who maybe think the right amount and face their fears. Let me take you all to the good old days when I was an 8-year-old kid. This was on 10th October 2008. We were attending my mother's youngest sibling's marriage. It was the last celebration when all of my maternal family was present. We lived under one roof, we slept under the stars, and woke up every day to a new surprise. On that day, it was a trip to the river Godavari, which was maybe 2 to 3 kilometers away. We started our journey, we walked and we walked and we walked. Finally, when the tiredness was peaking in us, we saw the endless waters. The mountains surrounding the waters waved at us from far away, and all that tiredness got converted into excitement and happiness. Any other parent at that point of time would pull their kids and tell them not to go too deep into the water, to be careful and not to get too excited. But with me, it was different. I tugged to my mom's sari and I didn't want to go and play with my relatives. I was extremely shy around them. But my mom somehow pushed me, and after a lot of nagging, I went into the waters. And I actually had a great time until something weird happened. After a minute, I was in the air. One of them was holding my feet, one of them was holding my hands. And just like how we rinse our clothes in and out of water, I was being dipped into the river in and out. Now it was fun for them, but those few seconds underwater were suffocating. I felt breathless. I felt as if they were putting me into a black hole. After that day, even the Lotus Pond, which was the favorite spot in my colony till then, felt a bad memory to me. I always imagined myself drowning into it. Around 6 years later, when I was in my 7th grade, I got a chance to learn swimming. After a lot of nagging again at home, I finally agreed. But somehow the textbook way of learning swimming didn't get to me. It was an 11-day class, and after 7 days, I realized two things. One, I didn't learn anything in the first 7 days. Two, I was around 5 feet tall and I had the fear of drowning in a 4-foot pool. I didn't tell all of this to my mother, but I went home and I told her I want to quit. She asked me the reason and I gave all the lame excuses possible, that there were many people around, the instructor wasn't good, etc., etc., and she agreed. I quit. After 4 years, we went to a trip to Andaman and Nicobar Islands. I was having a great time. The beaches, atmosphere, weather was awesome. On day 3, there was a plan to go to this water sports where there was scuba diving. Even before we made the plan, I made up my mind that I wouldn't do anything of that sort. We went there, everyone was filling the form, and my mom looked at me. Before she could say something, I told no. She replied, okay, fine, don't go. I'm not going to push you. You're not a child anymore. But once they go in and come back and share their experience, don't regret. That hit me hard. I said, let me take that plunge. I stepped into the cold waters, shivering, fear from head to toe. The instructor was giving us the signs, and I listened to him blindly. Body present, mind absent. And after all the instructions were done, the diver who was helping me asked me if I was scared. I needn't answer that. My face said it all. But he was an angel. He started to talk to me. I answered in nods. And I don't know when he asked me to close my eyes. And when we took that plunge from the surface of the water to the underwater. But after a while, when I opened my eyes, I was in between two huge coral reefs. All kinds and colors of fishes surrounding me. Apart from the fact that I was extremely happy that I am 40 feet down, not suffocating and breathing well, I was mesmerized and surprised by the other world I saw there. The pure, clean, beautiful, noiseless, pollutionless, amazing world. It was like a painting which had all the colors came into reality. I didn't want to leave that place, but we had to come up. And after coming to the surface, the diver asked me, "How was it?" And all I could say was, "Thank you." I was genuinely grateful to him from the bottom of my heart. I ran to my mother overexcitedly, just like that small kid on 10th October 2008. That kid who didn't step into the river, who was happy. She was back. My fear was gone. Now, whenever I look at water bodies, all I can think of is that beautiful painting, and I have good memories. How did all of this happen? Just with that one plunge. To all of you who have scars which are not felt, which are not touched, which are not known to the world outside, feel them, acknowledge them. To all of you who might come across someone who is scared or who has a fear, don't laugh at their fears. Try to encourage them, whatever the fear is. And to all of you who are facing the fear themselves, take that plunge. Trust me, you will love it. Take that plunge. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshita. After listening to your speech, I remember this, my favorite quote, that feel the fear and do it anyway. Thank you so much for that. Our second speaker for today is the president of Milagros Toastmasters. She teaches math and computer science. Whenever she is low, chocolates, cheese, and charts bring smile to her. She is Toastmaster Azma. But before I call her, let's welcome her evaluator. He is someone who truly feels little things have a lot of impact on him. Some of his things are putting on some music and sitting in the balcony or practicing bowling in his room. I call upon Toastmaster Nikhil to give Toastmaster Azma's speech objectives.
Thank you, TMoD Girish. And good afternoon, everyone, and a special good afternoon to my target speaker, Toastmaster Azma. And today she'll be attempting her L1 P2, and her purpose of her project is to practice and apply feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. So looking forward to your speech and all the very best.
Toastmasters, I know a magic trick. What if I told you that I know a magic trick? A magic trick that could turn your life around. A magic trick that could give you special powers and could take you on a super adventure. A euphoric one at that. What if I told you that these superpowers and these adventures are going to be long lasting? But it comes at a price. Would you be willing to pay the price? Toastmasters, about 20 years ago, a 20-something-year-old Indian student pursuing his bachelor's degree was sitting in the library of Knox College, Illinois, completing his research paper. And while he was writing, something happened and he decided that he wanted to be a comedian. Let me straighten things out here. This boy had never written a single joke ever. And there he was, feeling very strongly about this thought of his. And he decided that being a comedian is what he wanted. And there he was. At 2 a.m. that very night, he printed out 100 copies and posted them all around the college. Posters inviting everyone to his stand-up comedy show in 1 month's time, just 1 month. Now, in case you didn't listen to me earlier, let me remind you once again, this boy had never written a single joke ever. And now he had to prepare 90 minutes worth of jokes that could be good enough to make his college mates laugh. The posters were put up, the date was fixed, so you know that he had to get through. And so he did. He presented his stand-up comedy show on the fixed date. Ladies and gentlemen, This boy grew up to be one of the most successful Indian comedians alive today. I'm talking about Veer Das. He sold 1 million tickets for his shows worldwide. He is the first Indian comedian to have a Netflix special, a stand-up special on Netflix, and he has also been nominated for an International Emmy Award. And all of this began with that one thought that he had at Knox College at 2 a.m. Toastmasters, this is the magic trick that I was talking about. The magic trick that could make little things, that could make little get to mickle. This is what I call taking initiative. Taking that first step outside of your comfort zone that could turn your life around. I didn't understand how big of an impact this could have until, of course, I tried it out myself. Before 6 months back, I wasn't willing to be the president of my club at all. I thought it was too much responsibility. I just wasn't ready for that. And I didn't want to be that authoritative figure, especially for the senior Toastmasters in that club. But I had 1 million reasons against being the president, but just one reason for it. After all that the club had done for me, for my development, it would be disservice if I wouldn't pay it back. And so I took the oath of being the president. For the first few weeks, I decided that I should rate my presidentship according to the tangible results. Unfortunately, there were no obvious ones. So in the next few weeks, I decided that I could rate my presidentship according to the ease with which I'm able to carry out my duties. I was let down once again because my team and I were grasping at straws, especially during the pandemic, trying to keep up member participation. So then I decided that I should just keep aside the self-rating and just focus on doing my duties. A few months later, recently, when I was encouraging my mentee to take up an officer role, I couldn't help but think about myself. I had so many apprehensions about being the president. I wasn't willing to be the president. How is it that I'm still consistent even after so many months? Why haven't I burned out yet? And then it hit me. I am actually enjoying it. I like being a leader. Now, I don't know how the rest of the term is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be easy or if it's going to be difficult. But I know for a fact that at the end of the term, I'm going to be proud for taking that step, for taking that initial step, for learning and practicing that magic trick. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asma, for that magical speech. Yeah. Our third speaker today, when I asked him, what are your hacks to get out of the boredom? He said, short peek into Facebook and a good movie is all he needs. He is Toastmaster Yashranu. Before I call him, let's welcome his evaluator. He is someone who likes to follow and study the behavior of ants. He is so kind that he even provides them food and water. This makes him very happy and complete. I call upon Toastmaster Vishnu to give Toastmaster Ehanul's speech objectives. Over to Toastmaster Vishnu.
TMoD Girish. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Today, Toastmaster Ehanul is going to deliver his first speech, L1P1's icebreaker speech in the pathways dynamic leadership. The purpose of the speech is This project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public meeting, public speech. I would also like to remind the timer that the speech time limit is 4 to 6 minutes because it's an icebreaker speech. That's it from my side. All the best to my targeted speaker, Asanul. I with a great euphoria. I will return and evaluate my targeted speaker and called upon by the Toastmaster of the day, Girish. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishnu. Toastmaster Esanul, breaking the ice. Breaking the ice, Toastmaster Esanul.
Good evening to everyone. I hope you are doing well in this pandemic. My name is Mohammad Ahsanul Haq. I have completed my BTech in Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering from Bangladesh itself. After doing my BTech, I think to enroll myself in MBA because I think apart from my technical knowledge, I need knowledge in management like finance, marketing, and that's why I started my MBA. To be honest, I want to go abroad for my higher education, but due to the unprecedented COVID breakout, everything seems impossible because we can't go outside from my home. So it's not possible to sit for IELTS and GRE. So I didn't have any score. And finally, I come to India at Amrita University. Amrita University is one of the best university in India that provides me an opportunity to study here. I choose India because as I also belong from South Asia, so my culture, food habits, and tradition is also similar with Indian peoples. So I have to face less difficulty in India to adapt with this culture and food habits. But my parents, my father is a businessman and my mom is a homemaker. Among all my siblings, my position is fifth. Basically, I live in Saidpur, that is a municipal corporation under Nilphamari district. Besides this, Indian border is nearby from my home. The famous hilly border that is only 100 kilometers away from my home. To introduce myself, I am a philanthropic person who loves to see the beautiful world and travel new places, as well as it's my hobby too. Henceforth, I have visited many historical places in my country as well as India too. In my country, I have visited many places like Shah Hamdan Shrine, Bajid Bostami in Chittagong, Shah Magdum place in Rajshahi, and some other places like the Shah Dwambuj Mosque, the Khanja Ali Shrine, the Sundarban forest, that is one of the world's largest forests in the world. The thing I want to introduce in India, India is one of the beautiful country. In India, I have visited mainly in Kolkata and Kashmir. Kolkata, the city name itself exhibits the city of joy. In Kolkata, I have visited the British museums. That is one of the second largest museum in South Asia and one of the largest museum in India. As well as I've also visited the Nakhoda Mosque, the Victoria Memorial, which is built by the British, as well as in UP, I have visited Taj Mahal, which built by the Mughals. I took a flight and visited Kashmir. In Kashmir, I visited a lot of places, a lot of gardens, which are built by the ancient empires, the Mughals, like the Hazrat Bal, the heritage Mughal gardens, the Chashme Shahi, the Chabal Mughal garden, the Pari Mahal, the shrines like the Dasgir Shahib shrines, the oldest temple of the oldest temple of Shiv, among the shrines of Sheikh Sheikh Jamiluddin Shrine, and so on. Apart from that, I also visited Ladakh. Ladakh is one of the beautiful places in India. But the most dangerous thing is the traveling way from Ladakh to Kashmir to Ladakh, because it's one of the dangerous place in the world. Ladakh, we can see a lot of things like Kargil war memorials, because we have some wars with our favorite neighbors. Apart from that, I've also seen Hemis, the national park in Ladakh, Shanti Gupta. Without these things, I have visited some other places virtually in Indonesia, because I have attended a program in Indonesia that's in University Nigariya Malang. That's a virtual tour at East Java at Bandung. Yeah. After I started my MBA journey, I joined Toastmaster Club as well as some other clubs like Yes Club, where I meet a lot of persons. These persons are amazing. after when I started my Toastmaster club at that day when I want to do the payment, there's a bad thing. There is certain bad things happen. What happens that when I just went to my home, I just want to open my door. The door is closed. My mama has gone outside. The door is closed, and my mom was outside, so I couldn't enter the room properly. So sorry to Miss Vinodna and Mr. Dinesh, as well as our Toastmaster Gopika, and they have to wait for 5 or 6 minutes for me. Yeah, this is the way I started my Toastmaster club, and that's all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ishanul, for that peek into your life. I can see that you have a huge taste. I mean, I really like that you travel many places. Thank you for that. And let us continue with our team. So as I said, I lowered all my expectations and started looking for the little things around me to celebrate and enjoy myself. Some of them are, I wake up at 6 a.m. and I'll pick my yoga mat and go to the terrace, not just for exercise, please don't misunderstand me, but to sleep again for more, but to sleep again for 1 more hour by enjoying cool breeze and fresh air. Trust me, it feels amazing. And I really like to cook. I mean, I will watch some random videos in YouTube and try to make it. For no reason at all, I will just go to my brother and pick up a pillow and we start a fight. I know it's annoying, but it's fun. And we'll do it, and we will do it a lot, and we enjoy it we enjoy it a lot. And sometimes me and my brother scam my mom by telling that we are going for a walk, but we secretly go to the some pani puri and chat and slowly sneak into a house because my mom can catch smell. So I have this weird habit that I will take pictures of plants or random things in almost all angles possible. I really love doing that. My phone is full of them. And lastly, I'm started giving small gifts to me whenever I think I did something good, or it can be as simple as gifting myself a movie on a productive day. So these are some of the little things that I enjoy by myself. But slowly I realized that our happiness not just lies in the little things that we do to ourselves, but sometimes our happiness lies in giving our time to the people around us. If for example, if I genuinely like something about a person, I'll try to tell them or compliment them that they feel happy, right? And I feel happy too. And appreciating the efforts our loved ones make to make us happy. It can be as simple as telling my mom that today's food is awesome. These are some of the little things that I enjoy and I'll do so that people around me are happy and I am happy. And it might seem little, but it can be different from each and every person. But at the end of the day, these are all the things that can motivate us and keep us moving. Now let's start with the second section for today. That is table topics. For that, we have a person who has an account on all social media platforms, but never puts out anything. He is very hilarious as he is the only one who understands his jokes. He can spend all day by watching movies. Any guesses who that person is?
Please tell me it's not you.
It's me.
Knew it.
I'm TTM. I'm your TTM for today. The main objective is to challenge members to develop their impromptu communication skills, to effectively think on their feet by answering unrehearsed questions related to the theme. Okay, anyone interested to take first table topic? Yes, Siddharth Das. Please unmute yourself.
So, yeah, hi. Hi, Girish.
Your topic is about what would be your perfect day look like?
Well, for any working professional in this country right now, or in this global society that we live in right now, would be get a good lunch with at least 5 to 6 different dishes, get a good amount of afternoon sleep. And yes, this entire day should not be your mom poking around. Please go and buy some vegetables. Please cut cut this, please have some dishes done. That would be a perfect day. Another perfect day or another addition to this perfect day would be like similar to a cherry on the cake. When you go out in the society, just give back to the society what you have. Just give back to what the society needs. I have I have my own dog. I have 2 dogs, but yes, another fleet of 40 dogs also in my township that I live in. So every day during the lunch and during the dinner, I go to the dogs, feed them, and that makes my day much more beautiful, much more perfect. I guess every day I make somewhat or the other a bit a perfect day, but I would definitely say, what is a perfect day? Dear Toastmasters and guests, perfect day is when you live with happiness. Is when you live with peace. And what is peace? It is you who should define it. Maybe for some, buying an AirPod would be a peace. Maybe for some, having a good romantic time on this Valentine's Day would be a peace. But for me, spending an all single lone party is the peace for me for this Valentine's Day. Thank you again, and back to you, Toastmaster Girish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Siddharth, for that wonderful take. Now, any second volunteer? Yeah.
Can I go?
Yes, Vishnu. Okay. Tell us about your most memorable birthday.
Oh, no. Just a minute.
Okay, let's wait for him for 1 minute. Okay, easy.
Yeah, sorry for that inconvenience.
Vishnu, have you got the question? Yeah, tell us about your most memorable birthday.
Most memorable birthday. Thank you, TMoD, as well as TM of the day, Toastmasters, for the wonderful question. My most memorable birthday is the birthday which I celebrated in my school. Usually, the birthday celebrated in school is a common for everyone. They will go, they will give chocolates to everyone, and enjoy with their friends. It's a common for everyone. But if they celebrate at home, it will be different. But for me, it's a different case. It's a different scenario. I will always celebrate my birthday at home. Why? Why? Because my birthday usually falls on Christmas, and every Christmas is a holiday. Every Christmas, I used to wake up at my home, go to temple, and do birthday normally. Just like going to temple, that's it, my birthday, and giving some sweets to my neighbors. No friends, nothing. And the next day, I will go to my friends. Yeah, I say, I celebrated my birthday yesterday. Why you were born yesterday? No chocolates and all. Why you born yesterday? They will speak like that. And I was very pity on them. Like, I would have given them chocolates, or they would have given goosebumps to me. Or they would be chill and joy with them. And also I will also go around the classes, and I will also meet the lecturers and teachers. But it never happened. But one time, the exams are very near. It's 8th class final exams. They conducted special classes, and that's one time where I distributed chocolates and spent my birthday with my friends. And that's it, the best day, or best birthday which I remember. That's it from my side. Over to Toastmaster today, TTM Girish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishnu. I can totally feel your pain because my brother's birthday will also always get in holidays, in summer holidays. So I can totally understand you. Now, third volunteer, please. You can see the topics are very easy, right? Almost related to the theme. Anyone want to go?
Okay, I can try.
Yeah, sure. Let's assume that all the internet in this world stops for 1 day. How would you like to spend that day?
Okay. A very good evening to everyone present here. Our very own TTM/TMoD, he gave me one beautiful topic. if the internet fails? What will I do the entire day? Well, that's a very difficult question because pretty much my life is revolving around internet, and even now we are connected through internet, right? But I think I will try to be a little more productive. I know it's a very cliched answer. I'll wake up at 5 o'clock. It's that girl routine. I'll go, as you said, probably go out to do yoga, come back and drink some nice coffee, then have a break, blah, 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 all those things. But you know what I'll do? I think I'll just sleep in. Even though there are so many other things that would make me euphoric, but I think sleep is very, very, very essential and I really need it. And I have been needing sleep for almost 1 month right now, and I think I'll definitely do that, considering the fact that there would be no internet and there wouldn't be anyone who would ask me what I am doing and if so-and-so work is done and all those deadlines claustrophobically coming in on me. So with that, I think the very first thing I'll do is sleep and probably have one nice hot cup of coffee, because many a little makes a mickle. I think I'm using it right. Grammarian, yeah, many a little makes a mickle. Yes. And yeah, if all these things, only if all these little things, if they could culminate, I think that will make my life a lot more easier. Thank you so much for the topic. Over to you, Girish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhumita. I can totally relate to you because I'm a sleep lover too. Okay, next volunteer, please. Okay, Toastmaster Harshit. What's your favorite song? And
Okay, I come into that category of people, maybe 1 or 2% who don't listen to songs much, but I do have a lot of songs which I love. But I don't listen to them on loop, or I'm not a song person at all. But when it comes to the favorite song, okay, when it comes to any song which I listen to, the first thing which catches my ear or what I feel is I'll first look into the lyrics. I don't know why, but somehow more than the music, lyrics either blow my mind away or frustrate me. So the ones which blow my mind away, of course, are the ones which I love. One song which comes to my head right now is from the movie Jodha Akbar, Just Bahar Hai. So I love that song because it just gives me the feeling of calmness, and listening to that makes me forget all my worries for that second. It's nowhere related to my life. It doesn't relate anywhere to what is happening to me right now, but somehow it gives me the feeling of happiness, inner calmness. So that is one song, and there are a few like that. Thank you for the topic, and maybe I'll listen to the song after this meeting.
thank you so much, Toastmaster Harshita, and I think we listen it too because you reminded us. Okay, last table topic. Anyone wants to pick? Okay, I will pick someone.
Volunteer.
Okay. Tell us about a movie that you feel really great after watching it.
Okay, so this happened yesterday, and basically I'm completely jobless and have nothing to do whatsoever. So what happened was I was so bored. Then a friend of mine suggested this movie, and I thought, okay, let me give it a watch. It's called Spirited Away. For all the anime fans, I guess everyone knows this movie. It's such a cute movie. Like, it teaches a lot of life lessons, and it's such a cute movie. I felt so happy after watching that. I was like, okay, I was in a bad mood before watching it. I was frustrated with life. I don't know. I feel so like I'm not doing anything, that kind of feeling I got. But after watching that movie, I felt a little more motivated. I felt like, okay, and I felt happy. Let's say, even there's another movie, Disney movie called Encanto. It's a recently released movie. It made me really happy after watching it. Let it be the songs or the characters themselves. There's this one scene which I really enjoyed watching it. So when I watch a lot of feel good movies, I feel better about myself and feel motivated with life. So these two movies are one of the few movies which I like watching. That's all I have. Over to the TMoD/TTF.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. When it comes to feel-good movies, the movies I like are Perks of Being a Wallflower, and yeah, that is my favorite movie. And I wantedly asked this picked 5 questions because these are all the ideas that we can spend our day when we are feeling bored or when we don't have anything to do and feeling low. These are all the ideas that our Toastmasters have given us. So you can take all the names and you can write them, you can watch them, and you can take a listen to their favorite songs. They're actually very, very nice. Now, with that being said, I'm handing over the screen to our General Evaluator, Toastmaster Madhumita.
Wow, that was a quick transition. I was still in the TTF mode. Anyways, a very good evening to everyone here once again, and I'm here with my evaluation. Before I jump into mine, can I request the speech evaluator 1 or our speaker 1 to give the evaluation?
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Madhumita. And yes, as the saying goes, fear will push you into the dark. Toastmaster Harshita, it got completely synchronized with your speech that we need to escape the darkness and coming to the light. Going on with the further evaluation, Toastmaster Harshita, speaking about the positives of your speech, the very first thing which I liked in your speech was the opening and the closing. You opened it with the very common point, what is fear, how everyone will have the particular fear of fears, fear of 13. In all those ways, people somewhere got connected with your speech, as it seems to be a very common point to everyone. So that was acing point. Moving on to the next, there are good number of figures of speech collection in your speech, like all stars which we didn't touch, let's try to touch them. In this way, you had a number of collections which completely beautified your speech, and it added a lot of essence to your complete speech. Coming to the body and the structure which you made, coming to the body and the structure of your speech. You started it with your basic days when you had the fear of swimming, to ending days, to the very last thing when you were to the trip to the Andaman. It was completely clear how the fear got, how you tried to overcome your fear, how it terrified you at times. It was completely structured and well mannered, and at the end, you were completely euphoric when you said you have overcome the fear. And coming to a little add-ons which can beautify your speech a bit more is small amount of drama and enaction. There were many incidences. You were speaking about many instances. So a small enaction can take your speech to next level. Apart from that, great speech, and I completely liked it. I think everyone in the meeting were all ears to your speech. Thank you so much, and over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinotna. That was a very, very descriptive evaluation that we had. Before I come to your evaluation, let me talk about Toastmaster Harshita's speech. Take that plunge. Yes, there were so many things that I could totally relate with you, and I totally concur with whatever speech evaluator Toastmaster Vinotna said. Initially, that introduction where you threw out a few points, and that was like, even if one doesn't relate to me, I was sure that something else would relate to me. So you pretty much covered the entire audience there. And the second most important thing that I really liked about your speech is the fact that you used a chronological order to actually structure your speech. You started off with how you were at 8 years old and how you overcame, how you were dealing with your fear as such, and how there was another important event in your life. And all these were chronological. This way, we were all able to connect with your story on multiple levels. The next thing that was very, very beautiful is the fact that you circled back to what you told at the beginning. You started off with an 8-year-old girl on 10th October. That specifics, I didn't really know or why that was given, but we were able to understand that this was given because you were talking about the fear that you had and how you were able to overcome it towards the end. So that was beautifully done. And you were also able to incorporate the title into your entire speech. And it was, I could see that it was towards the 2/3 of your speech. And that's when you were trying to land on a perfect conclusion to the speech. That was very, very well done and good. I don't really have any improvement points. And coming to our speech evaluator for today, Toastmaster Vinodna, you had your evaluation very well structured. I could see that you were able to put out all those points, all the positives, all the improvements that you wanted to give in literal bullet points. And this, I'm sure, would help the speaker and also the other audience here to understand whatever you're trying to say. And it was very clear and concise. One suggestion that I could give you is to not to explicitly mention that you're going to talk about the positive points, you're going to give improvements or challenges, or if you're going to do something else. So this way, if you're able to just incorporate that and get it through the flow, I think that would do the magic here. Speaking of magic, let's come to our second speaker and the second speech evaluator. Toastmaster Nikhil, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So, a big round of applause to Toastmaster Azuma for her magical speech. So your speech was, I love the fact that your theme revolved around this initial step. And as they say, the first step is the biggest step. And I think it was relatable to each and every one of us. And the fact that you related to the meeting's theme was a big well done. And the second point was the structure of your speech. It was really well written. The fact that your introduction, where you started off with this magical trick and you concluded that, and you spoke about Veer Das and his inspirational story, was really well and totally relatable. And the body, where you spoke about your own journey as a president and the struggles and the initial step you took to take up the president role. And you had the beautiful conclusion coming back to the magical trick and concluding the speech was a big well done. And I love the fact that even though the initial step is the biggest step, it's not finished yet, and you didn't show it in such a manner that the first step is all it's needed. You told us about the struggles after becoming the president. As like, initial step is not everything. There are even struggles even after that, and you have to work really hard in achieving that goal. So a big well done on that as well. So a quick few feedback which I felt would be really good were addition of quotes. I think would be really great to your speech, and then a bit elaborate ending would have also been really good to your speech, with a few things which I felt would improve your speech. And your speech was actually really good, and it ticked off many boxes like body language, voice modulation, and you really had a good vocabulary as well. So overall, it was a really good speech, and well done.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nikhil, for that wonderful evaluation. Before I come to evaluation of your evaluation, let me talk about our speaker for today. And our speaker here, let me tell you, you have beautiful, beautiful dramatics. And I could totally see with the fact of, with a lot of tonal variations, and there was a lot of vocal variety. I think that is what specifically stood out for me in your speech. And I really love the fact, this is with respect to the content that you had, I really love the fact that you put everything out, though it was on a motivational, inspirational genre, you put everything out in such a way that, no, my life is not a rosy path. My president initial few weeks was definitely not that great as I expected it to be. But something that you conveyed here is it was real. It was not perfect, but it was real. You knew that you were enjoying that president's term, or you are enjoying the president's term here. And that is something that I really, really appreciate, putting out all the nuances of life and all the small, small things, the little, little things, as our evaluator rightly said. You were able to incorporate the theme into your speech. I'm not sure if that is a coincidence which you have already prepared, or you were able to do that on the fly, but that was really, really well done. And I have a quick question for you. Is this your first part or your second part?
It's my second part.
Right. So I could clearly see that you are a well-seasoned speaker. One suggestion I could give you, considering that this is your second part, is to try out with different varieties of speeches, like non-linear types, or since yours was more on storytelling plus inspirational, motivational, you can try out a few other things. I think that would probably, you can take this as a challenge for your next speeches where you would be incorporating the evaluation and moving on. With that, congratulations on completing your project, and let's move on to our speech evaluator. Toastmaster Nikhil, you had a complete coverage over the speech that was delivered by the target speaker today. Complete coverage, meaning you talked about the structure, you talked about the relatability, you talked about the content. So pretty much everything that the speaker has spoken for the 5 to 7 minutes was covered. So that is a very, very great job done. One important thing that I would like to commend you is on the fact that you had a very unique improvement point. You talked about quotes, incorporation of quotes. Why quotes? Because I was able to think of what, or probably this is my assumption, and you could always confirm if this is right. Your thought process of the fact that she was talking about one person and your suggestion was to incorporate quotes. I think this was something related to that, if I'm right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So I think that was a very unique improvement point that you have given. You were about to unmute. Yes, Nikhil.
No, I was just accepting yes. Yeah.
Right, right. So that is a very, very good thought that you had. Amazing job done. One thing that I had was you had one improvement point and one speech, one good point that you were talking about. So you said her structure was very good, and you said she had a good introduction, good body, good conclusion. And your improvement point was to have an elaborate conclusion. So probably there is something else that you would have wanted to add, but I felt that these two are a little contradictory to each other. Maybe there is something, probably you wanted her to add a little more punch to the conclusion, or you wanted to add a little more, a couple of more phrases, which would circle back and complete the entire speech. But whatever it is, it would have been better if you would have added a little more to that particular point as such, to make sure that whatever you told in the beginning and whatever you've given as an improvement is not contradictory. Awesome. With that, let's move on to the next speaker and the next speaker's evaluator, Toastmaster Krishna. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Madhumita. And first of all, I would request everyone to congratulate Toastmaster Isanul for completing his L1P1, that is his icebreaker speech, in time. Toastmaster Isanul, your speech was very excellent. You started with a very, what can I say, like, with a very disturbed mind. Like, you started with something like you are feared. Like, you started with, "Am I audible?" like that.
No.
But you concluded the but doesn't entered into the middle of the speech. You were struck at the starting of the meeting, but your speech was in a great flow during the entire meeting, during your entire speech. And you started your speech about your home, residence, and your personal details. And all, you spoke it about them very well. Also, you spoke about the places you visited in India, also in the places other rest of the India, and you also described them very well. Like, you also said about your experience about that place, and that was a very interesting thing, which you included in your icebreaker speech. And this is your first speech, and although you are not good at the starting, you confused at starting, you did it very well. Like many icebreakers, they when left in the middle of your speech, like they slipped in the middle of their speech because they are not even able to complete their full speech. They will forget their speech. But you concluded the speech and also ended it very nicely. And you also said about the places like Kolkata Museum and also described about them very well, like Ladakh traveling way. And one thing which you may want to work on is your speech was like answering to a Viva question. Like you have to improve like that by practice. Like many icebreakers aren't even able to complete their speech, but you did it very well. You will get that in your experience. Like after you give your next speeches, you will get that in your speeches will be very good. And also you are in a great tense while you are giving a speech. Your speech was very fast and furious. Like I'm unable to hear some words; those are not well listenable to me. That's a problem from my side, not your side. And also, you should stand and give your icebreaker speech. That's an icebreaker speech, right? And that's it from my side. Those are the speech evaluations. And if there are any noises from the background, please forgive me. And over to you, Toastmaster Madhumita.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vishnu. It's totally fine that you have background noises. I have my brother shouting all the time. But anyways, coming back, before I come to Toastmaster Vishnu's evaluation, coming to Toastmaster Ehsanul. Am I pronouncing your name right?
It's okay. Yeah, Ehsanul Haq.
Ehsanul
Nickname
Haq.
is Johnny. You can call me Johnny.
Johnny, okay. Toastmaster
It's
Johnny.
easy. Yeah.
You already broke the ice with all the information that you gave about your life, all the places that you have visited. I could see that you are an avid traveler. Is it? You love going places and yeah, you were about to say something. Yes. With the fact that you were able to describe all the places, and I really like the place where you talked about how you enjoyed going to these places. And one quote would be from Kolkata, where you said that place itself is a place of joy, and we could see that happiness is all being spread. So I could clearly see that you enjoy doing your things that you would want to do. And with your introduction, overall, we could see that we had a very good picture of who Toastmaster Johnny would be. And we know that, okay, so he is someone like this who loves to travel. So that is amazing. Very well done for an icebreaker speech. Great job done. Can I request the audience to give him a standing ovation, considering that this is his icebreaker speech? Okay, I practically disappeared, but okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Johnny. Yes, definitely. We would love to see a lot of speeches from you in the future. Coming to our evaluation, Toastmaster Vishnu, I really love the fact that you kept your evaluation very positive, at least on the positive end of the spectrum. You congratulated him. You definitely showed a lot of quotes and examples from his speech. This reinforces the fact that as an evaluator, you were also one of the audience and you were listening to his speech closely. Where is Toastmaster Vishnu? Yeah, here he is. So amazing job done there. And you were able to give in a lot of positive things about him, and I think that really encourage that speaker for today. Great job done there. I have one small tiny point of improvement for you. Considering that this is the speaker's first speech, that is icebreaker, it would be better if we are not giving any improvements. So this way, the speaker would be more encouraged to do. Obviously, improvements, there is always a scope for improvement, even if you are one distinguished Toastmaster with amazing speaking skills. But for the very first step, I think it would be better if we can keep it a little more on the positive side. With that, Toastmaster Vishnu, you did an amazing job as an evaluator. Let us come to the evaluation of the meeting on the whole. And before I actually dive into it, I have my tag team with me, and I could already see my grammarian on video. Thank you so much. Let me call upon the grammarian for today, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Over to you.
Again, a very good evening, Toastmasters and guests. So now I'll be sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Not yet.
It says you have started sharing
Yeah.
screen. Yes. Now.
Okay. So first of all, I didn't find any not so good usages in today's meeting, and some quotes and sayings are all yours. Take that plunge, cherry on the cake, blow my mind away, and I that's a great thing. Like table topic speaker Toastmaster Siddhartha has said a quote in his table topic session, and I congratulate Toastmaster Asma, Toastmaster Vishnu, and Toastmaster Madhumita for using the word of the day and idiom of the day. Great job done, and thanks a lot for using that. And I hope many people, like, I recommend many of you to use it when you speak the word of the day or idiom of the day to improve your vocabulary skills. And there were many good usages in today's meeting. That's it, I guess. And Toastmaster Madhumita nailed it. Like she was giving all the evaluations, all the points what tag team missed, and she was like, even if during the introduction to miss a point, she was telling that very clearly. And you nailed it, Toastmaster Madhumita. Thank you so much. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lakshmi. That was one amazing report. And I am someone who believes that we human beings are visual creatures, which means anything we will, if you are able to see it with our eyes, our eyes is one of the most used senses of the 5 or 6 senses that we have. So when you gave visual representation of the report that you had, I think that really stuck with us, and amazing, amazing job done. One more important point is the fact that you gave the word of the day and the idiom of the day, which was not too difficult, at the same time, it was not too easy as well. So it was somewhere in the middle and was trying to strike a balance between both of them. We were able to use it, and I think that's the whole point of the word of the day and the idiom of the day. Great job done there, Toastmaster Lakshmi. One improvement point that I could give you is, since you are a grammarian as well, I saw that in your report, whenever you had mentioned the names, you had started it with the small letter. And I would suggest you to please look into that as well, considering the fact that you are a grammarian. That is it from my side. Amazing job done again by Toastmaster Lakshmi. Let me call upon our counter for today, Toastmaster Vinay. Over to you.
Yeah, am I audible? Okay. As I said before, I'll be back with my report at the end of the meeting. And now I'm back with it. I'll share my screen. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes,
yes.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay. Okay, in today's meeting, like, okay. In today's meeting, many of the speeches were given, and as we can see here, the crutches were very little, very less, and some of them have not made any kind of mistakes, according to me. And there are some repeated words, some polish and some fillers, which can be rectified by preparing the speeches again and again and more perfectly. And the filler words can be reduced by giving more speeches and preparing them well. The remaining people did well. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinay. Again, the same thing. Whenever
Okay,
you
over
give.
to.
Yeah, I have already taken it. No issues.
Sorry.
That's totally fine. Again, the same thing. You give me a pie chart, you give me an Excel sheet, I'll be the first one who will be impressed. So great job done there. I really hope I'm not having a personal bias towards people who show me a Excel sheet, but you had an amazing introduction. It was very crisp, but at the same time, it was to the point where you talked about the CRPF, the crutch words, the repetitive words, the pauses, and the fillers. Here you also had a very concise report in the final report that you had given as well. One suggestion that I could give you is to probably highlight those who have done really well, and like those who did not have any R's or pauses or crutch words, or probably those who had very less, and those who had an excellent flow in the language, something like of this sort. This will give a positive reinforcement again to the speaker, and it would definitely be very motivating to all those speakers who have taken up the screen time today. Great job done there, Toastmaster Vinay. Let's move on to the timer for today, Toastmaster Madhumita. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhumita. I'll share my screen. Is it visible? Yeah. So we had 2 prepared speeches and 1 icebreaker speech. Toastmaster Harshita took 7 minutes and 16 seconds. Toastmaster Asma took 6 minutes and 11 seconds. Whereas we had an icebreaker speech, Toastmaster Samuel, who took 4 minutes and 52 seconds. We had a table topic session where we had 5 speakers, excuse me, where we had a guest, Siddharth Das, who took 1 minute 48 seconds. Toastmaster Vishnu, he took 1 minute 42 seconds. Toastmaster Madhumita S, she took 1 minute 35 seconds. And Toastmaster Harshita, she took 1 minute 39 seconds. Whereas Toastmaster Vaishnavi, she took 1 minute 29 seconds. Just exactly missed by 1 second. And we had speech evaluators. Toastmaster Vinitna, who took 2 minutes 9 seconds. Toastmaster Nikhil, who took 2 minutes and 17 seconds. And the third speech evaluator, Toastmaster Vishnu, who took 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Today's grammarian, that is Toastmaster Lakshmi, she took 1 minute 50 seconds. And our counter for today's meeting, Toastmaster Vinay, took 1 minute and 16 seconds. That's all for my time report. And the good news is that we don't have any disqualifications today. And that's it from my side. Over to General Evaluator Madhumita.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Madhumita. Hey, what is this? Everyone is using Excel sheet and all the graphics. You all get the extra brownie points from me. Amazing job done by our timer for today, Toastmaster Madhumita. And something that I have to tell here is the last sentence that you put, the good news where you told there were no one who was disqualified. I think that is what we need. So whenever you conclude, this is for all the speakers, evaluators, and all the role takers. Whenever you conclude with a positive note. So that gives a very, very positive vibe and a feel-good vibe, just like how our Toastmaster Vaishnavi told in her table topic speech. And I really love the introduction. Your introduction was very concise and it was to the point, and your backgrounds were also prompt when you were changing. And you have an amazing energy. And I could see that you were also trying to give subtle vocal variety, even when you were giving a timer's report. And I think that is a very, very commendable point here. Great job done by Toastmaster Madhumita. Amazing. And let's come to the overall evaluation timer. How much time do we still have? 1 minute.
2 minutes.
Okay, I'll try to make this really, really quick. So we started at 5:07, so that is 7 minutes delay. And probably if we could ask people to join 10 minutes before the 10 minutes before the speech, 10 minutes before the meeting, then we'll be able to set up all the role takers and be done and be ready at 5 o'clock sharp. And today for our essay, Sergeant at Arms, you had a very crisp start and you had a very good energy in the beginning itself. That's a job well done. Our presiding officer, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, you take all the responsibilities of a presiding officer. You had the guest introductions, you called upon them promptly, you also had announcements which were made, and you were able to start off the meeting with the bang of the gavel as well. So great job done there. One thing that I would request you to do is have a little more energy. I know you're someone who has absolutely amazing energy, and that we can see from all the other speeches and the meetings that she has attended. But for a presiding officer, it would have been better if you had a little more energy than what you had today. And that would have really set the foundation for the entire 1.5 hours that we have for today. Our hero for today, who took up 2 roles, TMoD and the TTM, Amazing, amazing job done. I really love the fact that you started off the theme with a controversial topic, which was very, very different from what we had actually expected. Little things, what I had expected was those aesthetic things that we talk about, those little things that feel very close to our heart, feel good, and all those things. But you started off by saying this is such a cliche topic, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. I think that was a beautiful twist that you added and really was attention grabbing. Job well done. And I really love the fact that you were able to give new dimensions to all the mundane life activities that we do from the time we start, time we start our journey or start our day till the time we sleep. And you had subtle humor sprinkled throughout when you talked about the taking a yoga mat and going out, and when we were expecting it to be you doing exercising or yoga, you said you just wanted to enjoy the breeze and then sleep off in the balcony. I think that was beautifully done. You were able to touch upon all the nuances of life. And the fact that you were also the table topics master and you gave your own introduction. This is like that Obama giving the medal to Obama. We're getting a lot of meme references today. It was the same thing here. So that was really, really good. Your TTM was very light, fun. It was a wholesome topic. Something that really stood out for me was the thought process which you explained towards the end, where you said your favorite song, your favorite movie, and those things what you would do, my table topics, what you would do when you don't have any internet. And when you finally concluded saying that these are all few prompts which you can use for you to enjoy the little things in your life, I think that's where you nailed it. Amazing job done there. I have one tiny small improvement here. That is to weave your theme with the Toastmasters meeting. You were talking about the little things. You were talking about how each one they have their own small things that they really love to do. I felt that it was going in a slightly different track and our Toastmasters meeting was going in a different track. Maybe you could have said the 3 little things that I really love doing is so and so. So the first thing is this. Similarly, we have 3 sections in our Toastmasters meeting. So the first thing is this, or any other thing that you can creatively think about to weave the Toastmasters meeting or the procedure of the entire meeting, and the theme would have added a lot of points to your TMoD as such. So amazing job done there. This is just the one small suggestion that I have. Can incorporate it in the future TMoD themes, whichever you will be doing. And that is it. I have covered the report for timer, our counter, grammarian, the evaluators, the speakers. Overall, it was an amazing meeting. I'm so sorry, timer. I took, I think, 3 minutes. But that is okay, that I come to the end of my evaluation for today. I'll put in the voting link for today's meeting in the chat. You can please go and vote for the best of speakers, fact teams, speech evaluators, and Big Four, and the table topic speaker. Let me hand over the stage back to what TMoD, Toastmaster Girish, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhumita, for that well-rounded and complete evaluation. Now, let me conclude my theme. In the meantime, our general evaluator put the voting link. We are humans, right? We make mistakes. Not every day is butterflies and rainbows. And there are days when nothing seems right and everything seems messy, the work, the relationships, the mind, everything seems difficult and hard. These days, we need to bring in these little things that would remind and also that would require very minimum effort, and eventually they will give us some strength and courage to go through these difficult days. The magic of starting to focus on these things is that we will gradually shift our thoughts from what is missing from our life to what is right now with us, around us, so that it will create that positive loop in our brain, feeding us with motivation and energy. Slowly and gradually, we will start to create our own happiness bit by bit. It can be as simple as listening to your favorite song, or going for a morning walk, or having a hot water bath on an ice cold day, crazy laughter sessions with your friends and family, a nice soothing talk with your grandparents, watching a nice movie, curled up under the blanket, cuddling your pillow. Anything, that little things that you do is what matter when you have a boring day or nothing to do. So our life is full of these beautiful life moments, a little but they actually took very little effort, which can be easily incorporated with our daily activities. And if we can collect these moments and store them in our heart, it will never feel alone. You will never feel alone and bored again. Don't let these little things slip. On this note, I'm going to hand it over to our presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Girish. That was a wonderful meeting and wonderful session. So before we get our results, let's talk about, let me call upon the guest, Mahidara P. Sai, to give us a feedback and speak about the meeting.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a guest today, and the feedback I want to give is it was a really great experience, and I really liked the meeting. To be frank, I like the way everyone expressed their feelings, and my favorite thing was Vishnu's thing, which he told about his school thing, and Girish Bros that little things concept, and that's what, yeah. Over to Vaishnav.
Thank you, Mahida. And now let me call upon the area director of who is present here, and let me acknowledge her presence. So over to Toastmaster Madhumita.
Right. Put me on spot. Thank you so much. So much for giving you a positive for your report. Anyways, hi everyone. I am Madhumita, and this was an amazing meeting. Tab is my home club, and I really love coming here. And sometimes I get little caught up, and I would not be able to attend the meetings. But I'm so glad that I attended today. And thank you so much for this opportunity, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. I thoroughly enjoyed this entire meeting. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhumita. Now I have the results. Any guesses who is the best of tag? No one? Okay, it is the first time who took this role. This person took this role first time and bagged the best of tag. That is timer Toastmaster Madhumita. Next, best of speakers. Any guesses? Anyone? This person is not from our club, and she came from another club. So this the best of speaker is Toastmaster Asma. Now, best of speech evaluators. Anyone there? Guess? Anyone wants to guess? Okay, it is Toastmaster Vinutna. And best of Big Four. Any guesses? This is someone who took 2 roles and in the same day and gave us a very beautiful surprise. That is Toastmaster Girish. And best of table topic speakers is someone I put on spot today. That is Toastmaster Madhumita. So I congratulate all the winners for today, and so overall this meeting was an amazing job done by all the rule takers. So let me close this meeting. #156